Grace. Today my team and I are going to bring a change in WKU. Our team is specializing in constructing VR lab for art history, especially in universities. So, at the end of this presentation, we hope you could really seriously consider this plan. To look at our team, we have President, Winston, and Jessica, Momo, me, and Bella, and our advisor, John Trump. This construction of VR lab in art history is necessary because our team aims at this kind of lab which brings unique, multisensory, and fully immersive learning experience for students, particularly in the universities. Because VR allows us to bridge the gap between the professors and students. By providing with experience of class VR, students and professors can access advanced and sensory-based experimental learning because we can walk into the representation digitally presented which are not yet produced in the reality. So, by looking at the cases of art history that already exist in WKU, we countered many problems. For example, in art history 3710, Renaissance and Baroque, we are looking at the Last Judgment, which is created by Michelangelo. It is 13.7 meters wide and 12 meters high. However, do you really can recognize the scale? Do you have really idea about how wide it is and how high it is? You only have the imagination. And also, in order to look at this little altar in the very behind, we have to divide this masterpiece into 4 slides, which is really convenient. So students are able to grasp the overall impression. And students are confused about where it is. For example, I'm looking at this figure. However, did you really confine this figure into this whole artwork? Really hard. Also, you have no idea how craftsmanship by Michelangelo, how hard it is to climb on the ladder to build such masterpiece. Let alone the perspective. You have no idea how perspective it is because it is 2D. Otherwise, when it is 3D, you have an idea of it. This is not only the case. On the contrary, with VR Virtual, you can step onto this ladder and you can climb on it. You have the idea how high it is and how big it is, and you can get close to the ceiling, to this altar, to the Last Judgment. Similarly, in art history 1700 prehistory of the Middle Ages, when we look at this sculpture in Greek, you have to show different slides to present, to display these sculptures from different angles and from different light and shadow to fully present it. So students have the problem of fully grasp, just like how they understand the Last Judgment. And they also lack overall impression because we cannot continuously to look at this artwork, but we can only transform into different slides. Otherwise, if professors have a problem in finding resources which present pictures from different angles, lucky enough we had different images of this suicide bomber and his wife. But for other artwork, we cannot really find the pictures from different angles and light. So, children also lack initiative because we can only learn from the slides that the professor provides us. Last but not least, in the case of art history 3795, the pre-Columbian art of Asian Mesoamerica. If you know this culture, you will know that these cultures are diverse in the different areas. Every color block means every different culture. So you are just confused. What? So many cultures, and where is it? Where is Mexico? Where is Teotihuacan? Where is Tikal? And where is Maya? You just get lost. So I quit this course. This is very likely what will happen. However, with the help of VR technology, you can just grasp the planet, just Jesus Christ on the universe, and you can just click on every line on the planet, which means every different museum, different area, different region, different culture. In addition, you can have a time travel to the ancient to see what people at that time doing. So have a trip across the time, across the space, and also under the epidemic, under COVID-19. It can see the expenses of university, and it can also protect students and professors. Also, Notre Dame de Paris, the picture shown is also burned a few years ago. However, VR technology enabled to construct a new church. So, facing such dilemmas and difficulties in our history in WKU, we can form a lab committing to our history education in WKU, which combines VR and AR technologies, because it is unique, it is sensory, it is potential, because it is new technology, it can have many opportunities, but last but not least, it is multifunctional. So why not just build it? Let us welcome next presenters to bring some successful cases and advantages analysis in other universities which already have such VR lab for art history. Let's welcome.
So now let's take a brief look at the attendance at the art museum. So the national enrollments for the art survey show that the attendance at the art museum and other cultural events has dropped steadily over the last 20 years. However, more than 70% of the respondents had watched, listened, or downloaded some forms of culture from the internet. Also, another survey shows that people spend like 15 to 30 seconds in front of any given artworks. So VR technology is a very good example because it is both digital and immersive. So now luckily we have VR teaching. We now have two types of VR teaching mode now. First one is immersive classroom. It is a teaching room in which images are projected onto the internal walls of the room, and this creates a virtual environment within the classroom. And the second one is VR headset. It is a common and practical way of implementing VR in the classroom, and they can provide a higher level of immersion, which will bring students unforgettable experiences. And for the successful cases at UVA, an instructor has already used an immersive classroom like this to help students to teach the Italian art and culture. So his course focused on only one building or work of the art each course, which are 2 hours long. It gives students a more vivid experience, and it helps students to slow down and spend more time on these artworks. So now I will show you the VR project to guide you walk into the famous paintings. Like through this small button, we can, this is a combine of Van Gogh's two artworks. And from the outside of the picture, we can see that it is a very romantic atmosphere. And from the inside, we can see that people are very anxiety. Not only can we walk into the famous paintings, we can also walk into the historical paintings like Notre Dame de Paris. Also, through these small buttons, we can walk around these buildings. So we can, our vision is a 2D image now, but when we look into the VR, it is an immersive experience. So last but not least, I will analyze the advantages of the VR teaching. So for students, first, it can provide an immersive experience, and second, students can easily understand the scale of the artwork, and third, they can have a time travel to the back to before. Last but not least, they can stand in the perspective of the creator of the artwork. And for teachers, first, they can better analyze the student's view, and second, they can broaden students' horizon. And the first one is that they can make teaching more vivid through the VR. So let's next welcome Momo to have the questionnaire analysis.
Hello, I'm Momo. In order to know what students really want a VR lab in WKU, we made a questionnaire. Now I want to make a questionnaire analysis. The first question is, how much do you know about VR? In the result, we know most of students think they know something about VR. Only a small number of students know nothing and much about VR. So we can think students have some knowledge about VR, but not much. So WKU can offer VR lab to make students understand more about VR and broaden their horizon. Question 2 is, did you use or play VR before? In the result, we can find the answer is much more higher than no. So we can conclude that most students have already used VR, but for students who never played VR before, they may desire to play it, but they don't have enough opportunities. For students who have played VR before, they may want to use VR when in class. So VR lab can satisfy both needs for yes and no answer students. The question 3 is, did you have experience in learning art histories? In the result, we can find most of students think they don't have experience in learning art histories. So as for me, I didn't learn art histories either. In my opinion, if I can use VR in art history class, this class will be more attractive for me, and I think I can say more through VR rather than only say what's important and textbook. Question 4 is, how do you think VR lab will help students in learning art histories? Most of students think they can have an immersive experience in visiting the art museums, and they can easily understand the scale of the artwork. It is VR lab's responsibilities to make students have more enthusiastic feelings when visit artwork, and make students know three-dimensional space of artwork rather than pictures in PowerPoint. So VR lab is beneficial in art history education. The question 5 is, how do you think VR will help teachers in teaching art histories? In the result, we can find most of students think teachers can take students outside to enrich the educational environment. So VR Lab can also benefit to teacher. The richer the teaching environment, the knowledge that students can learn and teachers can also gradually improve their teaching skills. Question 6 is, what do you think are the advantages of using VR for art history education? Most of students think high cost and limited number of equipment may not be popular to all students in class. It is true that school can't offer many VR for students' use, and costs are also high. So school should create opportunities to make VR Lab be used in art history education as much as possible and make the proposal practical. The 7th question is, if the school has a VR Lab for art history education, how willing are you to use it? We find most of students are willing to use VR Lab for art history education. In conclusion, the use of VR Lab is beneficial, reasonable, and we should take action to right now. So let's welcome my partner to do next part.
Hello everyone, I'm Jessica. Now let me talk about detailed budgets and application in WKU. As Grace mentioned, we can see Winston uses a pair of handles to control Earth and can go to the place which he chooses. So, what we need for building a VR laboratory? First, we need VR glasses, pairs of handles, and we need computer software to support VR equipment. And also, we need computer monitors to let others watch the 2D image. And the classroom is also needed. Let's see the detailed expenditure budgets for VR equipment. We can see that art history class have 35 students in one section. We decide that we think that 35 students schedule do not need to change, and we decide to have 2 people in one group. So it means we need 18 VR equipments and 18 computer monitors. After a market investigation, we assume that every VR glass and software costs $2,000, and every monitor costs $125. So the total expenditure will be $38,250. It's equal to 243,618 RMB. Compared to our tuition fee, 65,000 RMB per year, it's just less than 4 student tuition fee. It's very cheap, right? And our team think we can negotiate the price later and get 5% off. So the expenditure will be still lower. Then for the classroom, I designed classroom like this. Every triangle is the desk, and every circle is a chair. We can see that between every line there was a big space. Yes, that space is for workaround who put on the VR glasses. So it means we need a classroom big enough. So for the site selection for the VR laboratory, we choose Gehekai because it is a new building and it has available big classroom. So all in all, our project is affordable for WKU, and it is also practical. So just do it. We think our project will be successfully implemented in the future. Now let's welcome my partner to do the conclusions.
So after the introduction, let's make a conclusion about our proposal, the VR Lab for Art History Education. So we can see our proposal consists 4 parts. So there are 4 students, 4 our members to present. So the first part is the presenter is Grace. So in the first part, the Grace introduced the limitation of art history education. And because of the limitation and problems, so she proved for us that we need a VR lab to solve the problem. This part we proved that it is necessity to use VR lab in art history education. And in the second part, we have the better presentation about the analysis of the VR advantages. So focus on some successful case, the better gives us that. So the VR lab can connect the students and teachers, and also the VR lab can provide the current teaching situation with the virtual things. Thus, in this way, it is useful and helpful for both teachers and students. So in the third part, we have Momo questionnaire analysis. So in this part, she told me that first, for students, the VR lab can improve students' learning experience. And for teachers, teachers can improve their teaching skills by using VR service. And whatever students of teachers, they have a strong need to use VR lab, to use VR service. Thus, we prove that it is beneficial and it is reasonable to use VR lab for education, art history education. So in the last part, we have Jessica. So Jessica provides the location, the budget, and the size of the classroom of the VR labs. So in this part, the Jessica proved that it is affordable and it's also practical to use VR lab in WKU current situation. So one short summary is about the art and science, because in the 21st century, we move into the period of art and the science and technologies. Yes, we human move into this period. So in a very long time in history, the art and science are kind of binary. It means that we always separate the art and science in two different distinction groups. However, science is not the machine without the emotion and creative, and art is not to work without the techniques to spread its values. So what we do today is to combine the science and art. The science is the VR lab and art is the art history education. We think in this way, we can combine the science and art, we can combine the teachers and students, we can combine the current teaching situation to the future virtual things. So we think maybe it is one small step for the art history education, but we believe that it will be a giant leap for the WKU education system. So that is our presentation today and about our proposal, art history of VR lab. Thank you. This is our team. This is our reference. We have 4 references.